Steve Kim here. So excited. Steve Kim Show episode number 219. The much anticipated October stats are in, and as usual, I got your numbers and your stats as they pertain to the detached and townhome markets for both Toronto and pockets of the GTA. So let's get right into the numbers. So that average Toronto detached property in September was trading just over $1.59 million. Fast forward into October, we see a little bit of an uptick, now trading around $1.61 million. In Richmond Hill, what happened? We went from an average detached property in September selling around $1.94 million, dropping just a little bit to $1.86 million into October. In Markham, we went from $1.7 million in September to just up to $1.74 into October. And then in Vaughan, we went from $1.57 million for an average detached property in September to October, now trading just around $1.66 million. Now, months of inventory, this is about supply and demand, and we understand around 4 to 5 months of inventory is a balanced market. So for detached properties in Toronto back in September, we were hovering around 3 months of inventory. Fast forward into October, dipped just a little bit and is now around 2.4 months of inventory. In Richmond Hill, we went from 2.8 months of inventory up to 3.4 months of inventory into October. In Markham, we went from 2.5 down to 2 months of inventory, and that's going to be a very important number to pay attention to as we head into the end of 2022. And then in Vaughan, we went from 2.8, jumped all the way up to 3.5 months of inventory. So very close to a balanced market for Vaughan detached properties. Now, the townhome market, what happened? Back in September 2022, an average townhome in Toronto was trading at $1.19 million. Fast forward into October, jumped up to $1.28 million. Richmond Hill, we went from $1.21 million up just a little bit to $1.23 million. In Markham, we went from $1.14 million in September up to $1.2 million into October. And Vaughan, we stayed relatively the same, around $1.09 million for townhomes trading in September and into October. Now, months of inventory for Toronto, we went from 2.4 months of inventory for townhomes in September down to 1.8 months of inventory in October. So very, very tight market for townhomes in Toronto. In Richmond Hill, we went from 0.9 months of inventory up to 1.7. In Markham, we went from 1.8 months of inventory down to 0.4 months of inventory. Less than 2 weeks of inventory for townhome properties in Markham in October 2022. So absolutely, what does that signal? Multiple offers. In Vaughan, we went from 2 months of inventory up to 2.9 months of inventory into October. Now, year-over-year price changes. That average detached property in Toronto was trading at $1.79 million. And like I shared with you, an average detached property now in October 2022 is trading at $1.61 million, which is about 11.2% decrease year-over-year for an average detached property in Toronto. York Region, back of October 2021, for detached properties, we were trading at $1.75 million. And now in October 2022, we're trading at $1.56 million, which is about a 12.2% decrease year-over-year for an average detached property in the York Region. Anyways, I hope you found these numbers and these stats useful. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to give me a call, send me a text, shoot me over a DM or an email. As always, brave cat, everyone. Take care.